perspectives.
Hey guys, so welcome back to another video. So for this one, we're going to be speaking about 5 things that we wish we knew before we got married. And trust me, if you went back to when we first got married, I was 25, Renee was younger. If you said to us these things, we'd be like, it's all right, we don't need them, it's fine.
We're good.
We're good. Thank you for the advice, but we're good. So 5 things, and definitely if you're considering getting married, maybe you're a newlywed, maybe you've been in marriage for a couple of years, definitely let us know what you think. What are some of the things you wish you knew before you got married? Definitely you want to say it in the comments, feel free to, let us know what you think. So the first thing that we wish we knew back then is the importance of premarital counseling. Now, back then, I'll admit, I was not one who was open to premarital counseling. I was like, I'm good, I don't need it. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of men think that way. So usually when a couple is thinking about getting married, the guy is the one who is, we're set, we don't need any help, he has things figured out, he knows, everything is in his control. I was one of those guys and I was wrong. It is very important to get a third party who is a professional, who is discussed with many couples over many years, the common pitfalls or the common ways in which you can just overcome some of the basic challenges of marriage. So definitely, if we could have gone back, we would have gotten premarital counseling.
So a big thing that was missing for us, because we didn't get premarital counseling, was that preliminary knowledge. And so it meant that we had to learn a lot of things through trial and error.
Yes.
And a lot of trials. Some were more difficult than others, naturally, and it brought us to almost a breaking point. So we give God thanks for having sustained us and retained us for now, because at that time we certainly weren't walking with the Lord. So we are grateful that we are here now and able to even share our own experience, and hopefully someone else will benefit from that.
Yes. And the truth is, I'll admit, if I do remember Renee asking me if I would consider counseling, and I said no. I wasn't for it. Didn't think we needed it. It was a matter of pride for me. I was saying, somebody's going to come in and tell me something I haven't already thought of. That's not possible. So definitely, first thing, consider premarital counseling. That's what we'd say to our former selves. Number 2 is that marriage is a lot of work. And when we say work, any way you could think of work, that's what we mean. And it's not work in a bad way, but it's just work. I mean, it's something that you have to put everything that you have into it. It's not let me get married and then I can just relax. Let me get married and I can just stop trying to work on, like communication and, faithfulness or, forgiveness. You don't turn those things off once you get married. It's constant and consistent work. So definitely, I know I wasn't really thinking about just the amount of work. When you hear, scriptures like, don't let the sun go down and
on your
anger, you're trying your best to hold on to that. And you're like, man, I'm so angry. I don't know if I'm in the mood to work on something right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. So definitely, I don't think I had an appreciation for just how much work marriage would be.
And it's beautiful. Marriage is a beautiful thing. But for you to see the beauty in it, you have to put in the work to cultivate it. It doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come by default. Absolutely not. So in our earlier stages, we would have thought, oh, we're in love and our love will take us through, that's enough, us against the world, and that was our stance, that was our attitude towards marriage. That's how we went in, but not knowing how much we would have to change. We thought going in that we won't change, we'll be the same as we were before, but that's not true. There are different requirements, there are different expectations that come as a natural progression in a marriage. There are things that sometimes you don't even realize that you expect of your partner until you start getting frustrated in the marriage and you're wondering, why am I so upset? Your partner is wondering why is why is she so upset? And
we never agreed to those things.
Yeah, we never had that discussion. Yeah, we didn't have the discussion because we didn't go through the premarital counseling. And the premarital counseling would have truly helped us to unearth some of those things, to understand ourselves better, to understand those expectations better, and go into the marriage with a joint vision and be able to step towards the goal together, as opposed to be pulling in different directions.
Yep. So, number 3, it is definitely a good thing to understand who you are as a person. Now, marriage is about a husband and a wife, but I, as Jermaine, I, as the husband to Renee, I need to know what my calling is, where I'm called to, what I was created for, the things that drive me, the things that I'm interested in, the things that I want out of life. All those things are important because in marriage, there is a lot of sacrifice.
Yes.
So you have to know the things that you're willing to sacrifice while still, holding on to the purpose that the Lord has created you for. And sometimes you have to delay the realization of that purpose for your partner. So we've had that experience where we've both had to make compromises or adjustments to our timeline, what would have been our personal timeline. For the other, it is definitely worth it, but we didn't think about, we had timelines for ourselves as to what we would want to accomplish by a certain age, not realizing that, hey, marriage is saying, well, it's better to get there together than to get there alone.
Right. And a part of what happened for me, at least, not knowing who I was, not having my identity, not being firm in my identity at the time that we got married, it meant that I compromised on a lot of things. And those compromises meant that I later regretted some things. And I felt like I was just giving and giving and giving, and there was no appreciation for it. And I couldn't see how it was being reciprocated. And that's how it felt, at least. And because I felt as if I was giving up all of these things, I started to resent him. I started to resent our marriage. And I became just unhappy because we had, if nothing else, agreed on the fact that we're getting married once in our lives. That divorce was not an option. So we had agreed that we would stick this thing out regardless of what we would face. And I held on to that. And in not knowing who I was and what I was called to do, I tried my best to support Jermaine in everything that he did. But in doing that and not knowing what my role truly was, I was doing what I thought I should do. And it meant compromising who I was. And so that led to resentment. So it's very important for each person to understand who they are separately before you come into the marriage. And it's not that you can't learn and grow together, because you should and you will. You will learn more about yourself and more about each other each day as you grow together. But knowing who you are before you go into the marriage surely helps you to be more successful together.
Number 4 is, or we wish we knew back then, that marriage is a journey. It's a marathon. And it goes for the rest of your life. Now, what that means is that, again, there are certain expectations that one may have coming into marriage about, we should be past this, or we've been in the relationship X number of years, we should know better. Why do we keep having the same arguments? Especially in younger marriages, that may happen. And sometimes we've seen, even in marriages 10, 15 years, it takes time to get over or get through certain issues. And what you should do is think long term. Make the best decision that you can make, considering what you're called to do in terms of being loving, being caring, being understanding, being patient. It may take you a little longer to get through some things, but if you build the right foundation, if you're focused on the right things, then it will be worth it long term.
Yeah. It's two persons joining to become one flesh. And so you would have been accustomed to being just you for whatever period of your life you were single. And coming into this union now, becoming one flesh with another person, joining in this way, it is brand new. So learning to work as one, learning to embrace that oneness will take some time. And it is in fact a marathon and not a sprint. So take the time to enjoy every step of the journey and not rush. And definitely don't be holding your partner to what your expectations were before you went into the marriage. I should have had a house by 30. You know, don't do that. Coming together as one means that your goals and your dreams now have to merge into one as well.
Yeah. So yes, that is correct. So fifth and final is that we should have taken time then to understand and appreciate fully what love is and what love means. We definitely know now that love is a choice, love is an action word, and it requires a lot. So our template, our reference for love right now comes from 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. So definitely, if we took that into context before we got married, in terms of what love is, again, that would have completely changed our perspective as to how we went about doing things. But these 5 things that we've mentioned, wasn't even on our radar. We just knew that we wanted to get married. We just knew that we were in love. We just knew that it was time.
Yes.
And that's enough to get you married, but that's definitely not enough to bring you to a successful marriage. And that's what we wanted to share with you. So, definitely hope you've been blessed by this. Let us know what your experience is in terms of marriage. What are some of the things that you maybe wish you knew before you got married? What are some of the things maybe you're looking forward to in getting married, or what have you been learning as you prepare for marriage? So, see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
It's the bonus step now. So guys, thank you for sticking around. If you stayed, you'd have gotten a bonus tip from us. So the bonus tip is
get help when you need it.
Yep. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm having this challenge with my wife, with my husband. Can you help me? Can you speak with us? Can you show us maybe how you do it? So it's always good to have somebody with a little bit more experience, or a lot more if you can find it. Somebody who is further down the road than you are, that can help you, that can walk alongside you. So even for us, we've been married for almost 11 years, and we have couples that we can go to and ask for help and to give us guidance and to help us figure things out. So definitely that's a bonus tip that we would add, that you definitely want to consider who you will go to before you get married.
And when we're saying get help, we mean get godly counsel. We don't mean going to a friend who is going to say, what you bother with him for? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about godly counsel, one who will keep you accountable to the word of God, who will keep you accountable to being the wife that you have pledged to be, or who you are preparing to be.
Or the husband.
Or the
you're
husband.
pledging to be and preparing
Yes.
to be.
Yeah.
It's a little
Long. I know, I thought that one I definitely see the benefit of an outline to just hit the points and move
on. Okay. So, because we're at 10 minutes already.
on.